Morning, boys and girls. Are you perfect? Have you ever been unkind to someone? Your brother or sister, perhaps? Not listened to your parents when they tell you how to be safe? Broken something that belongs to somebody else? Thought angrily or nastily about someone else inside your head? We have all done those things, haven't we? We break and damage the things that belong to God and the good things He has given us. We damage the world around us, we hurt other people, and we damage and break ourselves. We don't listen to God, so our lives are broken. This not only hurts God, but we get hurt too. The Bible has a special word for this, and it's called sin. Let me tell you about a young boy called NaughtyNigel, who was always getting into trouble. He was always up to no good, he didn't listen to good advice, and he never seemed to behave any better. One sunny day, he was riding his bike around and around outside his house. His dad had told him, "Stay away from the road and the cars. It's dangerous. You might get hurt. You might get into trouble." But NaughtyNigel cycled round and round, closer to the road, closer to the cars, smiling to himself that he knew better than his dad. And it was fun, and it would all be okay. Nothing bad was going to happen, really. But just then, his wheel bumped over a stone, and he lost control of the bike and rode into the side of his dad's car. Oh no! The bike made a big dent in the side of the car, with scratches to the paint, and NaughtyNigel had a big bruise on his head and a broken wheel on his bike too. Oh no! What was he to do? He always spent his pocket money as fast as possible on sweets. He had no pocket money near enough to pay his dad back for the damage to the car. NaughtyNigel knew that he had to come clean and tell his dad what had happened. He couldn't hide the damage to the car, especially because of the big bruise on his head. His dad was disappointed and sad with NaughtyNigel. He had told him to be careful and when not to ride his bike. The damage to his car was serious and expensive, and he had given NaughtyNigel the bike as a present, and this was also broken. Saddest of all for Dad was that NaughtyNigel was hurt, with a big egg-shaped bruise on his head. But who was going to pay for the damage? NaughtyNigel couldn't. NaughtyNigel's brother, Perfect Pete, was older and very well behaved. He had been saving all his pocket money. Seeing that his brother could not pay for the damage and that it made his dad sad, he gave all his pocket money to their dad to pay for the damage to the car and the bike so that could be fixed too. Perfect Pete washed Nigel's cut and put plasters on them. With the car and the bike fixed and the cuts and the bruises on Nigel's head covered in plasters, the dad forgave Nigel for his naughty behaviour. Nigel was thankful to his big brother who loved him and helped him to pay back what he couldn't and fix the cuts and bruises he had. The Bible tells us, whoever knows what the right thing is to do and doesn't do it, that is sin. Just like NaughtyNigel in the story, we need to pay back to God for the things we damage and break. We owe God for our lives that we have broken with our sin. In the story, the broken car needed new paint, the bike a new wheel. We also need to be made new and perfect. But to pay back for our broken lives, we need a perfect life. Now, none of us are perfect, not one. So how can we pay it back? Well, NaughtyNigel in the story was rescued by his older brother, Perfect Pete, who could pay what Nigel owed. We have a rescuer too. God's Son, Jesus Christ, is our free gift. Just like Perfect Pete had enough money to pay for the damage Naughty Nigel caused, Jesus has the perfect life to pay it back for our broken and sinful ones. And that's what he did on the cross. On the cross, he was paying for the damage we cause and what we owe, so we don't have to. And just as Naughty Nigel's dad could fix his car and forgive Nigel with Perfect Pete's money, Jesus' death on the cross means the damage of our sin is fixed, and we can be forgiven by God forever. Don't you think that's so kind and wonderful of Jesus? Naughty Nigel told his dad what he had done wrong, and we must make sure we do the same when we sin. We must say sorry to God when we sin, and we can do that in our prayers to him. We will sin every day because we are not perfect. But remember that Jesus is. And if you are trusting that Jesus paid for all your sins on the cross, you are forgiven by God forever. If you want to start trusting Jesus for paying for all your sin so you can be forgiven, talk to a grown-up today who can help you to pray to God about that. Have a good week.